I am so excited for today's episode of Changing Lives. We're talking about the relationship between life and death today on the show. It's not every day that you come across someone who has both experienced life and death, so today's episode is even more intriguing. Now, our guest, Luis Miguel, managed to cross on over to the other side, take a little peek, and then decide, this is not for me, and managed to come back. I know it sounds a bit funny, but I don't know how I would be able to cope with that.
We're going to find out when we talk to Luis now.
And I'm going to leave you to it.
Thank you. Luis, it is such an honor and a pleasure to have you with us on Changing Lives. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
You were pronounced clinically dead, and you're sitting with me today. So unless I see dead people, then this is a reality. Please tell me what happened.
Well, we actually do see dead people, and this is not a reality. This is the illusion. So I had a cystic brain tumor. I was in a coma for 9 months. They switched the machines off. 26 minutes later, they proclaimed me dead, clinically brain dead. Death certificate, put me into a body bag, wheeled me into the morgue. I remember before physically dying that I physically left my body. I watched as people came around and said goodbye. I was aware that I was very much alive, but not in physical form, and yet still very aware I was myself. And then there was the gentle pulling through the tunnel. The minute I experienced the tunnel, I remembered I'd had this experience many a time before. It was very familiar again. There's these beings that greet us at this tunnel bridge, where we then move into what we know as the spirit world today. These beings are our soul group members. There were 5 of them waiting for me and 1 standing beyond. As soon as I traveled through it, the 1 standing beyond moved into me and I became it. There's a group of us, 6 of us, the Michaelilu. We are messengers. And it's the reason I've come. I've come to bring a new message. And then there was a lot of celebration. There's a bit of a cleansing process. A blue jello is the closest I get to it, where we then remove the earthly memory, return to our spirit group, where we live in groups of 2,500 beings, clusters of classrooms, like a school. In this specific cluster, the 6 of us are teachers. And when we incarnate to bring through a message.
And what's the message that you feel, what's the strongest aspect of the message you feel you want to share with the audience on Changing Lives today?
It is so simple. God only has one son, and the son fell asleep and dreamt the dream of darkness. One woke up before the rest. His name was Jesus, or Yeshua ben Joseph, realized and said, I am. Before Abraham was, I am. As the Father is in me, so I am in the Father. Jesus awoke into what we call the Christ consciousness, the awakened mind within the dreamer's mind. And we are here to remind the rest of ourselves, the projected self, one dreamer, that we are fractured into billions of beings and are returning back home to the awakening in the full realization we have never left God's mind. There is no death. There is just dream. And just as in everyday life, we are awake, or we appear to be awake in physical form, projection. We go to bed at night and we dream, illusion. The dream is either the spirit world or this physical world. You're either awake or you're asleep, either in this world or in the spirit world, awake or asleep, and then deep sleep in which there's no dreaming, which is when the essence of yourself or the soul rests in God.
Sure. So would you say, to summarize what you're talking about, is that we actually are just pure love, living in experience as a collective, and that we should actually have no judgment of anything in our lives because it's all connected to one self? Absolutely.
Judgment, what you resist, persists, and judgment prevents the awareness of awareness. And awareness is the miracle.
Luis, you are a miracle, and thank you so much for joining us today and to share your incredible story. I'm sure people can find you with A Course of Miracles.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luis.
Thanks for having me.